Hello, and welcome to today's segment of Create With Us. My name is Jacqueline, and I'm the Community Science Outreach Coordinator for the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. Today, we're going to be mixing science with art. We are going to be using red cabbage and the properties it has as a pH indicator to make art. Scientists use pH to measure how acidic or alkaline things are. Another word for alkaline is basic. The pH scale goes from 0 to 14 and ranges in colors, as you can see here. Red cabbage contains a water-soluble pigment called anthocyane that changes colors when it is mixed with an acid or a base. The pigment turns red in acidic environments with a pH less than 7, and the pigment turns bluish green in alkaline or basic environments with a pH greater than 7. You can use this anthocyanin pigment and its changing color capabilities in a variety of crafts. It is mostly used as an all-natural dye. It can also be used in watercolor, dyeing ribbon or fabric, and even creating tie-dye. To make the pH indicator, or cabbage juice, you will need 2 cups of chopped red cabbage, a cooking pot to boil water in, water, a coffee filter or a strainer, and a jar to put your solution in. With an adult assistance, the first step is to chop 2 cups of red cabbage. Then, boil 4 cups of water. Place your chopped cabbage into a bowl. Once your water boils, pour the hot water over the cabbage and steep for at least 10 minutes. The longer it steeps, the darker the indicator solution will become. Once your cabbage is done soaking in the hot water, use a coffee filter, as seen here, or a colander to strain the liquid from your cabbage. Please be careful because this liquid will stain. To get additional solution, this process can be repeated one more time. If not, the discolored cabbage can be placed in the compost. Now let your pH indicator cool. All right, let's try watercolor with our cabbage juice. You will need watercolor paper, a paintbrush, your pH indicator, a craft tray or dish, and vinegar. Soak your watercolor paper in your pH indicator overnight. Seal the container if possible. I let my soaked papers dry on some foil. Now that our paper is dry, let's get to painting. I have poured a small amount of vinegar in a dish, and I'm going to use my paintbrush to paint it onto my paper. Watch closely as it changes colors. If you would like to take a more abstract approach, you can place a drop of vinegar on your paper and move around your tray to create a painting. I call this piece Staying on Trail. Great job! Let's try tie-dyeing with our cabbage juice. For this activity, you will need white fabric or yarn. Twine and ribbon could also work, your pH indicator, rubber bands, and a sealable container. I used a Tupperware with a snappable lid. So for this, all you need to do is use your rubber bands to tie up your fabric into your desired tie-dye pattern. Then place your fabric submerged in your pH indicator in a sealable container. The fabric needs to soak in the solution for at least 24 hours. You can add salt to help the fabric absorb the dye better. When the time's up, you can hang your fabric to dry outside. Avoid direct sunlight if possible. Thank you for joining me on this week's segment of Create With Us. I hope you enjoyed mixing art and science.